So, hello and welcome to another episode of In Conversation With by Kangaroo Minds. I'm Vedika, and today we have with us Avanti Nagral. Based in Bombay and Boston, Avanti is a music artist and a singer who aims to change the world and change societal norms through her music. Our conversation today centers around music as well as opening up with conversations around mental health, something which we feel makes a huge difference in this context. So without taking much of your time, let's dive in and hear from Avanti. Avanti, in your opinion, what are some challenges that you feel people face, especially when it comes to sharing their stories around mental health?
I think the challenges are threefold. The first, just simply being stigma around it, right? We don't hear too many people share their stories, so it feels like you are the only one going through what you are going through, and it is not normal. So people, don't associate it with it being a common experience, but rather that there's something wrong with them, and therefore maybe find it difficult to share because they feel like they're the only one going through this. The second is also, what will people say? Because we've been so used to, especially in Indian society, log kya kahenge, and that being monitored so closely, that it makes a huge difference, and for people it adds to that piece. The third thing that I would say is that I find that a lot of people, even if they are dealing with poor mental health or some form of confusion, it's hard for them to accept that themselves. So notwithstanding the whole societal pressure, just being able to accept it yourself, accept that you might need help, or accept that it's okay to not be okay is what I've personally seen, especially among young folks.
So, in your latest song, Sun Toh Lo, you shared, why it's talking about mental health matters, why people should talk about their journey. So, in your opinion, can you tell us a little bit more about why do you think we need to have more conversations around this and why people need to share, their stories?
I'm just double checking. Am I frozen?
No, you're fine. You're
okay.
fine.
All we really want at the end of the day is for people to listen to us without judgment. And what I found was, when writing the song and when creating it, a lot of times we do let those societal voices get to us, and I don't blame people because they're so used to being bombarded with things like kuch nahi hua hai, nothing's happened to you, it's all in your head. This is just what people say. A lot of young folks get met with, oh, just get off your phone and wake up early in the morning and you'll be fine. Not acknowledging that there's something deeper. And so I think for us, it was really important to create something that people could relate to, even without necessarily putting a word or a phrase to it, right? Because not everybody is as exposed to mental health and the understanding of that nomenclature, but they may still know that something is wrong, or they may still know that they're feeling a little bit off, and having a song that can just talk about the fact that I want somebody to listen to me because there's something going on and I don't know what it is. I found that a lot of people have been able to relate to that and take it forward from there.
Just another thing, you mentioned that a lot of people may not be exposed to it, and we spoke a little bit about the stigma. So just taking that aspect forward, do you feel that culture plays a role in stigma around mental health? Or have you found, for instance, that there are some stereotypes which sort of prevail across cultures?
That's a really good question. I think culture does play a huge role, right? Because it does determine something as simple as the fact that in South Asia, for example, we live in more of an interdependent society, whereas some parts of the West live in a more quote unquote independent society. And therefore, they may not value in the West, say, what their elders might think, or what, their family units or their neighbors might think, in the same way as which we might value it here. So I think when it comes to external monitoring, it plays a huge role. I also think, sometimes that extends to the level of involvement people have, right? Often in some cultures, parental involvement extends far beyond adulthood,
Right.
And when that ends up happening, sometimes there is either a sense of dependency that is created, or there's a sense of this has to stay within this family unit, as opposed to being something that somebody can go through. So I think it does. I think the thing that is still universal, unfortunately, is stigma. The nature of stigma might be different in terms of how people talk about it, but it's not like there are parts of the world where you can just walk in and everybody is comfortable talking about these things, because we're still a long way to go.
I think, that's one of the sad things that, even today, like, the acceptance around mental health is still missing. But at an individual level, like, how do you think, we can be better listeners and create more safe spaces for people, like, who want to share their stories or who are having a hard time with their mental health? Like, what can we do as individuals in that regard?
Yeah, that's a really great question, right? And I mean, I'm speaking as somebody who I've studied psychology, but I'm not a trained mental health professional, right? And so for us who are lay folk, if you will, in this realm, all we can really do is be there for somebody and listen. But I I wish that in schools and colleges and at homes we're trained in how to be empathetic listeners and how
Right.
to really listen and not hear. Too often we will hear what somebody's saying, but not really listen. And listening is not just an audio exercise, it's everything. Understanding the other person's body language, feeling the energy in the space, reading between the lines, if you will, to see what they're truly trying to say, and it's hard because, yes, it's really important to listen, but sometimes if it gets to a certain point, we have to also know our limitations and know that we cannot help, right?
Right.
I get reached out to almost daily from folks from my community. A lot of, people in our community are teenagers, and who follow my work, and, they'll share a lot of things going on with them. And my heart goes out because I wish I could help, but there's only so much that I can do. So it's more just acknowledging that it must be overwhelming or it must feel difficult, and trying to connect with resources. And I feel really sad sometimes that there aren't too many resources, especially that are accessible or, free or focused on younger folk.
Right. I think you've made quite a few valid points that, yes, we need to know our own limitations, but, sometimes just being there for somebody can make like a huge difference to their mental health, and like further on just signposting them to help that is available, for instance, or encouraging them to take care of themselves. I think, speaking about like taking care of yourself and your mental well-being, do you want to tell us a little bit about how, like, for instance, music has helped you personally with, taking care of yourself, your mental health and well-being, as well as do you feel that anybody can benefit from music, or is this just for like, experts?
Oh, not at all. I mean, I think music is amazing and has such healing power. Because within itself as a medium, firstly, it's a universal medium, right? Yes, there are some languages and some types of songs, but overall, most humans connect with music. Most animals connect with music, right? It's something that is this universal connector, and often the way in which it's designed, it sparks emotions in you that you don't necessarily need words to describe. Um, Different people have different personal relationships with music. There's some people who listen to music to enhance their mood, to boost up their mood, whatever that might be. There's been a lot of research that goes to show the power of music in terms of all of these facets. For example, there's a lot of research on, say, the beats per minute of a song and kind of what that can induce physiologically, say, with your heart rate, also, mentally and mind mapping. But it's really what works for every individual person, right? There are some people who may not um, listen to music as an escape. They may listen to music as whatever that might be. And that's cool. There's some people who want to create music and that's cathartic for them. That definitely has been for me. But whatever it is, whether it's music or journaling or art or dance or taking a long hot shower, or having your alone time, whatever that is, investing time in figuring out what gives you that release, I think is really important and should be, very valued.
Right. No, I mean, as you said, each person's self-care is going to look very different for them. And I think it's, kind of interesting that you put the light on, that, okay, even someone who's a beginner to music can benefit. Like, you don't have to be a professional to draw that benefit out of music. So, what really inspired you to write, your latest song? I mean, you've spoken about mental health. You've always been someone who's, tried to use music as a change maker. So, do you want to share a little bit about what's been the main inspiration that made you write, Sun Toh Lo, create that video, put it out there?
Of course. Firstly, thank you for your kind words. With Sun Toh Lo, so Sun Toh Lo is also my first Hindi single. I've released a bunch of music thus far that's been primarily in English, and I knew that I wanted to write something about mental health. Like that was very clear going in, and I found that particularly in 2020 with the pandemic, it became something that was even more front of mind for a lot of folks. More people were, experiencing ups and downs in their mental health than they had before, and there was so much grief globally, and younger folks were starting to feel that pressure among everything else. And so I think, it was a combination of hearing stories from people and understanding what they're dealing with, and recognizing that the main pain point was not having somebody to listen to them. And, my own personal ups and downs with mental health over the past year. And of course, just generally, I just found that in speaking about stuff, there's real value in speaking about it. But sometimes there's a lot of stuff that needs to transcend words, and that you can only communicate through emotion, right? And that's what I think is the beauty of music. It transcends just the chatter, and it goes beyond that. So it's a way of connecting to somebody's heart, you know and I found that, I mean, the number of people who reached out to me after it released, firstly, who shared, I mean, just go and look at the comments on the videos, and people are sharing their situations in their hearts because they find that a safe space. And I feel so sad that a YouTube video is a safe space and not necessarily a person in their lives. But at the same time, I'm very grateful. And the number of people who shared the fact that they were able to play the song or show the video to their parents or their family members as a way to start the conversation, I thought that was really beautiful, because, it allows for it to not be in your face, but be like, hey, this is something I might be dealing with, or, maybe they see the situation in a different light.
Right. No, I think, that's something which we don't realize, right? That what could help someone start that conversation. Sometimes it could be, as you said, a music video or a song. It could be just be someone who reaches out to them and, kind of urges them to share their story. So signing off, Avanti, what would be your parting words to anybody who's having a hard time with their mental health right now?
Firstly, I would say definitely check out Kangaroo Minds for some inspiration and mood upliftment, and the incredible work that they do. But, I truly want people to know that they're not alone. And I mean that they're not alone in their experience, because there's a lot of people dealing with what they're dealing with. It also doesn't matter the background you come from. Too often we tell ourselves, I don't deserve to feel this way because I am lucky. I have food on the table. I have shelter. I have all of these privileges, and I'm not dying at the moment. So what do I have to feel sad about? But that's the weird thing about emotions. It's all contextual, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with feeling that way. And in fact, it's a sign of strength when you admit that to yourself and seek help. So just know you're not alone. There's many people going through this. Please know that there is help always around the corner, and we're just sending you lots of love and strength.
Well, thank you so much for that, Avanti. It's been such an interesting and insightful session. And of course, for taking out time and joining us today, for sharing your experiences, your learnings, your advice for our viewers from around the world. And for everybody who's watching this today, tuning in today, just know that, as even Avanti said, you are not alone. So if you are having a hard time, or if you know anyone who's having a hard time with their mental health right now, just, reach out. There is always someone out there, who will listen, someone who will care, and things do get better. So until next time, please stay well, stay safe, and stay healthy. Thank you.